Trying to see that real quick. 144. Yeah, shalom, shalom. All right, this your brother Naba. All right, and once again, edit again. Through the spirit of power, how about you outside? First of all, before I get started, we give all honor and glory and power to Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashai, by Hashem, Hakadash. I want to say double honors to our elders, our great apostles, great millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, being great example to Israel. All right, man, the elect. I want to say peace and blessings to the hope of the elect on the four corner, pushing the truth and sincerity. All right, the great song, this brother Naba. Just coming a little early morning scratch lesson. All right, through the spirit and power of you, how about Shema Shai? All right, I was kicked out my live last night, and it was so crazy. We had just got done talking about, how we have outsiders, all right, in America, all right, hacking from within. And all of a sudden, they kicking me out the live last night. And when they kicked me out the live last night, it said this right here. And what it says is, your connection is private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information. All right, and it's heavy. And then I try to click, connect the Wi-Fi back together or whatever, right? It gave me this. If y'all can see it. And basically it said the browser had blocked your mic and camera. So there's no way I can go back live, on StreamYard. But that's kind of heavy, concerning the times that we in. I be teaching, I don't use, hard language, like that. And, I try to be word coded, certain things I say when we speak about Esau, so it's like, I wonder why, they try to, take my page or whatever. But we got to continue to watch, what's going on concerning prophecy. We got to continue to pray that the Most High Yahweh have mercy on us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this devil is moving throughout the earth, So we got to watch as well as pray and also fear. Because fear is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? When you fear the Most High Yahweh, you're going to do what's necessary and right, to stay in the good grace of Yahweh Shema Shai. And that what matter the most. Not to go down to Egypt for help. We understand that, this war that's cracking off is going to bring bad times, evil times upon the earth. Now, may the Lord have mercy on me, about them attackers trying to, steal my information. So who knows what can go about with that. That's why I'm going to leave it in Yahweh Shema Shai hands, man. I pray to the Lord, like I always do. He shield me, 777. It's completion. So, may the Lord, rest upon me and the angels. All right, but I want to go into this Isaiah 31 because it's here heavy. When Isaiah 33:6 said, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, because it's finna get bad. All right, and like I said, this war is gonna start off. All right, the evil in the earth. It's not gonna get better. It's gonna get worse, man. All right, because this whole plan, like I say, all wars are bankers' wars. So this plan is to bring in this NWO. All right, but it's gonna be by way of war. Now, this is Isaiah 31:1. It said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. So woe means destruction. And to go down to Egypt for help means depend on America, depend on Babylon the Great, depend on your oppressor. All right, to lend you and give you, all right, a sense of comfort, which only comfort that we have is the scriptures, these words. All right, this was going to comfort us in a time of trouble. This was going to give us the ability to keep pushing, fighting, striving, staying diligent, this word, because understanding that the things that are happening now, dealing with Iran, all right, U.S. and the small hats, that's prophecy, man. That's Ezekiel 38, all right, to the full. But this only the beginning, all right? And guess what? This only the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, too. The beginning of famine and great death. So when this calamity started to occur in America, hey, woe to you that go down to Egypt for help. You got to trust in your Yahweh Shema Shah, man. That's why, the Lord testing us in certain areas, put us through these trials and tribulations. Therefore, when it's time to, really be about it, hey, the elect going to be about it, because he has, built us up through the edification of the apostles. He built us up through the edification of the bishops and elders of Connecticut, and the elders in your camp. The Lord have built us up, man, spiritually and mentally, even to the point of physically. But if you go down to Egypt for help, that's your ass, because woe means destruction. All right, and the way that Jacob go down to Egypt for help is taking their charagma, because they have no faith. All right, and they got the spirit of Esau, can't fucking wait. You know what I'm saying? So it says, woe to you, they go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and that's the power that Esau been given, through that technology. And in the midst of trouble, yeah, a lot of people gonna go down there. A lot of people gonna hold their hand out because they have no what? They have no vision. The scriptures say, where is there no vision, the people perish. You know what I'm saying? So when the people don't listen and hearken to the voice of the prophets, they remain in the congregation of the dead, and they're gonna perish. They're gonna die. All right, Hosea 4:6. It says, my people will be destroyed for what? For the lack of knowledge. What knowledge? The knowledge of the Bible, the understanding of the Lord's will, his purpose, your purpose. A lot of people are going to be destroyed for the lack of that. Not that it's not here, because this word is going forth every day. But why would they be destroyed? Because they will not listen, they will not hearken, they do not consider. And therefore they're going to go down to Egypt for help, all right, on their last leg, and get destroyed because they trust in oppression. All right, but it says because they are many and because they are strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel. Who is the Holy One of Israel, man? Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Why they don't look towards him? Because they had not been taught to look towards him. Christianity, have killed the minds of our people when it comes down to spirituality things, man. All right, being in tune with the power, being in tune with Yahweh Shema Shah. Christianity have killed that, to a degree. That's why it's a blessing and it's a miracle that we came out of Christianity. We came out of Islam. We came out of all these types of religion. You got a lot of people with atheists and this and that, but the Lord brought them out of that darkness to this marvelous light. But like Jeremiah 9:6 says, all right, thy habitation is in the midst of deceit going to lies, man. And through the deceit, all right, of the so-called white man, starting with Christianity, they really truly, refuse to know the judgment and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. So it said, but they look not into the Holy One of Israel. Yeah, because they're looking towards the money, the system, they dreams, they wishes, their aberration. That's what Jake looked towards too, because that's what they was taught. And it says, neither seek the Lord. All right, and seek is a very heavy word, even though it's a 4-letter word, but it's on him while he is near. All right, because all hell is going to break loose soon. I know Eddie Ashimama, he mentioned this in his lesson. He went into something going to happen, all right, in Babylon the Great, and they're going to shake this place up. All right, remember 9/11, even though that was an inside job, but they used like the outside force. All right, but guess what? Something major going to happen again, man. And you got to be well prepped. That's why I say preparation proper preparation prevent poor performance, along with faith, because you got to be well prepped, all right, for the devil and his schemes, man. All right, because he coming. He got some of his sleeve. All right, and it says, verse 2, it says, yea, he also is wise. All right, and will bring evil. Why? Because the Most High Yahweh is guiding this devil to bring the evil on the earth. All right, remember Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. All right, Proverbs 20:24. Man goes of the Lord. All right, so the Most High Yahweh using the devil to bring bad times, evil times, ill times on the earth. And it says, and will not call back his word. And that's the thing. Jake think the prophet's playing. Jake think the prophet is out there just to be screaming and hollering, for no reason. No, nigga, the Lord has sent us to warn you of the eternal time that's to come, man. All right? Because guess what? His word will not turn back to him void, but it's going to accomplish what he sent it. And it's going throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Loud. And got it's to the point now. Look at these so-called Christians, man, which they anti, all right, because they not truly for the Lord. But just look at them, how they shaking in their boots, man, and how they constantly coming up against the true men of the Lord, the true prophets. Everything is being shook by this word. And that's the Most High Yahweh, because he said that, all right? This word was going to do that. But it says, yea, he also is wise to do evil, and will bring evil. You see that? And will not call back his word, but will arise against the house of the evildoers. And who is the house of the evildoers, man? All right, Esau, Edom. There's the house of the wicked. The Lord finna rise up against them. But guess what? In battle. You see that? That's why the spark or that light hit with Iran dealing with Israel and USA. It just, that little spark fire, now it's finna start at night. You know how you do chacos on the grill? All right, you put the some get the instant light, but most people get the what's called, can't even get the fucking word. But you spray it on there, and then you hit the light with the paper, you throw it in there, and it'll be a little corner that lit. And then as it grow, it ignite. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's finna do, man. All right, it's finna spread like wildfire, and it ain't gonna be no other choice, no other point but to what? To press a button and get the missiles to flying. All right, but it says, but I will arise against the house of the evildoer by this word first. All right, because this say that in the First Thessalonians, the wicked shall be revealed. All right, by the words of the Lord, the spirit of his mouth, and the brightness of his coming. All right, and it says, and against the help of them that work iniquity, man. So Esau, Edom, any other nation of plus 2/3, all right, who join hand with this devil will be punished, man. All right, in the return of our Lord and Savior. Even before then, because Jacob Trouble gonna take a lot of people out, man. These FEMA county detention centers. It said men's gonna die of famine. The race riots, the race wars, the gang wars. See, a lot of people gonna die within the midst of that. So the Most High Yahweh, he got a very, very special day, all right, for those that will not turn back and seek him. But it said now the Egyptians are men and not powers. Right? Esau ain't nothing but a fucking man. That's why the scriptures say, fear him that can kill the body and soul. Instead of fearing man, they only can kill the body. You got to fear Yahweh Shema Shah. All right, because the Egyptians, Esau, Edom, they the modern day Egyptian, the Pharaoh. All right, they ain't nobody. The Lord brought them up to show his power. But it says not God, not powers, and their horses is flesh and not spirits. All right, these robots, they China got these robots, Esau got these robots, the other nation, they got robots. Hey, they ain't talking about shit compared to Yahweh Shema Shai and his armor. All right, and we speaking about the angels. That's why it's gonna be, man. It's a how you watch a good ass action movie. You know, and it get better as the movie get to the end, it get better and better, and then you just have that one scene, just straight action. That's where we at now in prophecy, man. We finna get to straight action, man. Because the Most High Yahweh is a man of war. You know, Yahweh Bashim Shai is a man of war, man. All right, what they did, Exodus 3. And when you go into that war, it break down actions and bloodshed, man. That's what the Lord is about. He about that action, and he about bloodshed, man. You know, and it says they are horses. Their horses are flesh, right? They power. They have no spiritual capability. The Lord gave them the mindset to create them missiles for their own destruction. If it weren't for the Lord, all right, the devil wouldn't have shit, but he had to receive his blessing that was given to him by Isaac, which was the fatness of the earth, which he got that motherfucking thing, the door of heaven. They got more than a heart can wish, all right, and their sword. And their modern day sword is what? The gun, which go into his military, man. All right, which he go out throughout the whole earth, destroying and devouring. You know, Habakkuk, 2 and 5. You know, this what this devil's about, man. You know, so they horses is flesh and not spirit. You know, that's why we're gonna need divine intervention when it comes down to Esau with his technology. You know, when you think about the robot dogs, the human robots, the human droids, the drones, you know, the tanks, you know, all these type of weaponry that Esau got, we're going to have a spiritual intervention, like divine intervention, man. The Lord going to have to step in. You know, Daniel 12 and 1. You know, they're going to have to take place. If not, then guess what? We through. Because we flesh. You know, we flesh. But it says, and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, and then who is the hand of the Lord? Yahweh Shai. You know, and it said, both he that helpeth shall fall, woo, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together, man. All right, and that vision right there, you can go to 2nd Ezra 13 chapter. All right, and Esdras describe how, you know, how the Lord came, how he cracked them clouds, man, on that mountain. You know, that's how it looked. He said it looked like a fucking mountain, man. When that's a big ass ship, man. All right, our salvation vehicle. You know, the Lord coming through, and he gonna shake the earth. And guess what? All the heathens, starting with Esau, Edom, Psalms 83rd chapter, all them motherfuckers, all right, gonna fall together, man, and go into slavery together. All right, no one escapes. Right? But it says, for thus have the Lord Yahweh spoken unto me. You see that? He was given his vision. Like as a lion and a young lion roaring of his prey. All right? And when a multitude of shepherds call forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voices, and abares himself in the noise of them. So shall the Lord Yahweh hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hills thereof. Woo! The Lord said he coming to fight for us, man. That's why he said, wait upon me. You know what I'm saying? We were reading that too last night. Zephaniah 3 and I think Zephaniah 3 and 8. It said, wait upon me. All right, to the day that I rise up against the prey. For my determination. This is the Lord's determination. All right? This is his fight to gather the nation in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. All right? This the Most High Yahweh doing, man. He finna kick their ass, man. You know? And we gonna, and Lord willing, we be alive to see it. You know? We be alive to see it. And it says, man, that's beautiful, man. And it says, as birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh host defend Jerusalem. So as a bird fly, what they put you in the mind frame of, those chariots, man, those so-called UFOs, which is IFO, because they identified in the scriptures as our salvation vehicles, man. He says birds flying. You know, I remember Tyler Mark, you know, he said this one time at camp, and it was beautiful breakdown too, illustration, like how he said how Shai coming with the big chariots, right? But he's like, you're gonna have small chariots you know what I'm saying, come from them giants to gather the elect. Remember, the elect gonna be gathered from the four corners of the earth. So you can have small chariots come out the big one, you know, and gather the elect, and they all come together back into the big one. You know what I'm saying? The fathership. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, I like that. That was cold there. You know, that was cold. You know, and that's very well can happen. You know, because how else the elect gonna be delivered, all right, throughout the chaos, man, and these missiles coming. All right, it's gonna be like birds flying. Hey, chariots going over here, chariots going over there, chariots going over there. You know what I'm saying? Chariots going over there, and you just seeing, you know, the elect getting beamed up. But it said as birds flying, man. That's cold. All right, it said as birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. You see that? Defend it also, he will deliver it. Who he gonna deliver? He gonna deliver the elect, man, out of that fire. You said, and passing over, he will preserve it. Come on, man. All right. That's beautiful. Now it says, turn ye unto him from which the children of Israel have deeply revolted. For in that day every man shall cast away his idol in silver and his idol of gold, which their hands have made unto you for a sin. All right. Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword not of a mean man shall be devouring him, but he shall flee from the sword, and his young man shall be discomfited. The Lord finna put these niggas out of commission. And, you know, the Lord finna put these heathens out of commission, man. It's over with. You know, it's over with. So here it is. When time comes, hard times come, guess what? We got to trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, man. We want to be able to endure until the end. My friend, let me end it on that. I got 10 minutes to take my ass into work, so let me end it on that. This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure, and that's very important. All right, that's very important, man, to take heed to and put in their field pocket. You know, it's very important, man. You know, so Lord willing, and the water too for y'all brothers and sisters, you know, come aboard the water. So Lord willing, you know, y'all brothers and sisters edified. Next time, Shalom, Baba Baba Raka'aka, and may the Lord continue to bless y'all morning. All right? Remember, fear, pray, and watch.